National Wildlife Federation, Frank Zalosky is sorry.
Zalosky. We got it.
We were trying to practice
this too.
It's
a hard one, Frank.
It is a hard one. Frank Zalosky joined us on the other end of the line. I'm sorry for butchering the name there, Frank.
Yeah, that's okay, Kyle. That's all right. It is Zalosky. It's a Hungarian name, and so I'm happy to be with you and your listeners this morning.
We'll talk about this press conference that you guys are going to be having a little later today, and what's the issues that you guys are going to be bringing up?
Well, thanks. There's lots of different aspects to climate change that gets attention in the news, whether people focus on the hurricanes out on the East Coast and polar bears up in the Arctic. But what folks we don't talk about enough is climate impacts here in the state of Michigan. And so we're going to be focusing on the fact that things are getting warmer in Michigan. Those are observed changes. It's not really subject to debate. The waters have gotten warmer and the temperature's gotten warmer, and that's allowed pests like ticks and mosquitoes and harmful algal blooms to proliferate and to thrive, and it puts humans and pets and wildlife at risk. And so we're going to be rolling out a report that's called literally Ticked Off, and how climate change is impacting America's outdoor experience.
And this is going to be a teleconference for reporters a little later today. And we do seem to have more mosquitoes here in Michigan than we have in years past. And you're saying it's because of climate change, even though we've had kind of a mild summer, really. We haven't really gotten up into the 90-degree range or anything like that. We just had a brutal winter.
Right. Well, the thing about climate change is it's not, month by month, even year by year, linear. You have to look at longer periods of time to see the trends in both air temperature and water temperature. And that's how species like mosquitoes get their cues. And the other interesting thing that's going to be rolled out is poison ivy in Michigan is getting more toxic and more concentrated because of the warmer air temperatures. And, this is not a conservation group like National Wildlife Federation's opinion. What we've done is just assembled the best available science from researchers, peer-reviewed researchers from all over the country, and poison ivy is getting worse, believe it or not.
That's very interesting. So what do you mean by that? Does that mean there's more poison ivy out there, or if you touch it, there's more likely that you're going to get a nasty rash out of it?
The latter.
Wow.
The toxin in poison ivy is becoming more pernicious because of the increase in temperature. So if you in the past would break out in a rash if you got, say, a drop of poison ivy fluid on you, all that it's going to take is half a drop as we move forward.
We've talked to climatologists before who are kind of maybe on the conservative end of the spectrum and maybe not, they call themselves non-alarmists, but that this is all part of a trend, that if you take a look at going back to, the Ice Age or so forth, that temperatures trend up, they trend down, they trend up, they trend down, and we're kind of on an upward trend right now, and that they'll go down again. What do you make of that kind of science?
Well, the science behind climate change has been pretty well established now for actually over 100 years. Scientists have been monitoring the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and we are at today a record high as far as concentrations of carbon in the atmosphere. And the big spike, of course, happened when the Industrial Revolution happened, and there are ways for us to bring that down and level that off by moving towards cleaner sources of energy, and in particular reducing pollution from coal-fired power plants. But the science is settled on the causes. What's really fascinating and where this research is cutting edge is really understanding the impacts between more rain, higher temperatures, and all these natural systems and human systems.
Have we?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there countries that are doing this right?
Well, the United States is doing quite a bit. And actually, one of Michigan's homegrown industries, the auto industry, is a leader in reducing carbon emissions. Both the big three automakers and the United Auto Workers worked with the administration a couple of years back to increase fuel economy standards so that by 2025 the American fleet would reach 52.5 miles per gallon. That was the biggest step that our country's ever taken to reduce carbon emissions. And what it's done is it's driven investment and technology into our auto industry, which is, the envy of the world. It's making our cars more competitive. So, I'd say Michigan and the United States are doing good things in getting this right. And, we have there's a proposal now to reduce carbon emissions from power plants in front of the United States EPA, and we're encouraging our federal office holders to support it.
All right. Well, very good. We're talking with Frank Selassie, Regional Campaigns Manager for the National Wildlife Federation. A little later today, he's going to be joining others in announcing the Ticked Off Report, Americans' Outdoor Experience and Climate Change, a report that's going to be talking about how we're seeing more ticks, mosquitoes, stink bugs, other nasty things, Morgan, that we'd rather not have
Creepy
to deal.
crawlies. Ugh.
Yeah, and they're going to be talking about that. We appreciate your time today. Frank, have a good day.
You too, Morgan. Kyle, thank you.